So, what game would you like me to add to the showcase, Lois?
Too bad I don't know a lot of games.
The answer that I'll whisper. I'm sorry, I haven't stood up.
I heard that one.
I know. I was whispering enough to be like, if the microphone chose to pick it up, it could. It's.
Looks like it wasn't loud enough to pick up the microphone, but you guys all read the title, so you know what she picked. Starting to regret inviting Autumn to that stream. Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Game Reserve. My name is Jagger Newman. I'm the war in these parts, and yeah, no live showcase this week. I had plans today, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be back in time for the showcase, so I wanted to make sure I pre-record something for you guys. And if you caught last week's stream, you know that, well... Lois and Autumn sort of tag team me, and now I have to play a game that I did not see myself playing for this channel when I started it. So tonight we are playing Princess Maker. Okay, so released in 1991, Princess Maker was, I guess you could call it a raising simulator or some sort. You know, Lois and Autumn described it as a Tamagotchi style game. And games like this were pretty popular in Japan and other parts of Asia. So Princess Maker is one of the more famous games in this genre. When it was released in 1991, it was pretty popular and was widely ported to several different platforms at the time, and would be translated into several different languages as well, such as Chinese and Korean, because this was something that Lois played back in the day. That's part of how she and Autumn were able to bond. Here in the States, however, it was something of an unknown franchise. Like, had a hard time getting over here due to it being a very Japanese game, and just other outside forces working against it. I think Princess Maker 2 was actually supposed to get a release here in the States, but it was canceled because the publisher that had signed on for it went out of business right before it was time to release it. Starting with Princess Maker 3, though, these games would start to land stateside, and though they didn't really leave much of an impact, in recent years, mostly due to YouTube showcasing it, Princess Maker has become something of a cult series here in the States. This is one of Autumn's favorite video game franchises, and evidently Lois is a big fan of it too. So she won Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, so she got to pick the next game, and with on a recommendation from Autumn, now I have to play it. And before I go any further, let's just get it out of the way. Yes, I am comfortable in my masculinity enough to the point to where I feel I can get away with playing a game like this. I am also aware of the reputation these games have due to certain bits of content, but that's not how we are going to play the game. So if you're expecting me to do that, or you're about to make fun of me in the comments for playing a game that is clearly outside of the demographic I belong to, you can take your keyboard and kick rocks. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started with this. You can tell that Studio Gainax didn't really touch this remaster. I would expect a lot better animation quality from them on this. Man, just looking at this already, like, you can just tell this is not something that I would typically play. This is something, like, I'm only really playing out of obligation, you know. My friends joined me for the showcase, and, you know, they won, so sure, I'll play a game where you basically raise a young girl with the intention of her being taken as a princess or something along those lines. And you know what? The Princess Maker is something that is fitting for the Game Reserve because, as the name implies, we are about, you know, preserving classic games and stuff like that. And this is a game that isn't really well known here in the States, so, you know, I'm sure there are people who will get a kick out of this, so, you know what the hell, let's give it a shot. Well, this certainly isn't what I was expecting. A demon army? No, it's pretty metal, actually. Maybe this won't be so bad. His name was... Yeah, it would have been funny if that was actually my name there. But they did ask for my last name, not my first name, so maybe that's why.
見事な働きであったぞ勇者よ。
No, when I read there was voice acts and I was hoping it was going to be in English, but I guess that was asking for too much.
全て委ねようと思うが。
Yeah, and I would turn down that title too after fending off a demonic invasion. The last thing I would want to do is take a place of authority. I like this guy. I probably would have asked for something similar. God. Oh no. It would not do that though.
よくぞ言った。子供の教育は国のもとい。それもまた平時に劣らぬ国家の大業じゃ。
I don't think I'm fit to be a parent by any stretch of the imaginations, and whatever I'm playing as probably isn't fit either since he's so injured or whatever. This is only 500 pieces of gold to raise a child? Your Majesty, but dude, how about a 500 gold pension? You know, I just saved your kingdom, for crying out loud. I mean, like, I'm not going to take a place of authority, but $500 a month is, that's so much to ask? I mean, I'm taking a child. And the title screen there, it's not typically good. It's a little too ornate, and because it's rendered with old DOSware software, it's, you know, kind of hard to make out. Alright, so first of all, we always talk about the controls, but there isn't a whole lot to talk about here because there is it's basically a point and click interface. So essentially how the game works is you just raise this kid that you've adopted, and like you're gonna raise her from age 10 to age 18, and the primary goal is to just do the best you can to raise a proper lady. They call it Princess Maker because the obvious goal of the game is to raise it to the point where maybe a royal or a prince or something will want to marry. God, what am I doing with my life? Okay, so one of the things that you can do is, you know, schedule some things for her to do, education. You can send her out to jobs to make money. You can have her take a day off, at which point she'll go out on the town, or you can take her on vacation. And depending on what you choose, it'll affect the character in different ways. Also down here, you can send her to the castle to see if she can get an audience with the king. Right here, you can go into town and get other people's opinion on her. Right here, this shows you some stats, and it kind of does work like an RPG. Depending on what you have her doing, different aspects of the character will go up. But there's always a give and take, I find, so you really need to think about what you're doing if you're going for a specific build or trying to get her into a specific place. But the game doesn't give you a whole lot of direction on what you need to do in order to achieve a specific ending, and there are a surprising amount of endings in this game too. It's honestly kind of impressive for 1991. You can also talk to your daughter. You can be gentle, you can be firm, or you can lecture, and this will also have different effects on her depending on how you do it. This is one aspect of the game that I feel could be expanded upon, because a big part of raising a child is, talking to them, getting to know them, so you can better nurture them, I guess you could say. So, just the fact that any dialogue between you and your daughter is so limited, that is a problem in my opinion. And the last thing on our list is that you can head to the market to buy various items, weapons, armor, and all that stuff. So this is basically what you're doing for the whole game, so there isn't a whole lot of what I would call gameplay here, so... damn it, it's only been 9 minutes, so... Alright, so let's see what I can do in an hour here. I'm not going to get her all the way up to 18 by the end of this, so let's just see what happens. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by educating her, so we're going to start with basic study, then etiquette, and, I will want my kid to know how to defend themselves, so I'm also going to have her take martial arts. So, let's see how this goes.
やあ、いらっしゃい。これからの時代は学問を学ぶことが大切です。まず読み書きの基本から始めましょう。
I can tell already this guy would get on my nerves. Well, I hope this is a sign of good things to come. Yeah, so whether or not she does well with her studies or jobs or anything like that, I think is completely random. Even if you have, high-level stats that are well-tailored to whatever she's doing, whether or not she'll actually gain anything from what she's doing is random, but I think that's just kind of the nature of a game like this.
礼法とは伝統的な礼儀作法を学ぶお稽古です。一人前の淑女になるためには絶対に身につけなければなりませんよ。はい。
My friends would probably be surprised that I would even bother with a class like this, but I think one of the things that you'd want to do if you're a parent is, to try to raise your kid to be better than you are. So, I never really listened when my parents tried to teach me manners, so might as well make sure that my little girl actually does have some manners. I don't know if that makes me a hypocrite or not, but it just seems like something a good parent would do. Now, the martial arts thing, though, that's something that is definitely going to be questionable. Martial arts. I would teach my kid how to box, but, just a good way to instill some discipline into, and if I'm not around to defend him, I know that my kid can kick the crap out of a bully. Nah, we're not gonna do that. Not gonna have a 10-year-old girl fight you, dude. Okay, so far so good, but that already ate into my funds, and that's another thing you have to keep in mind about Princess Maker. Just about everything you do in the game costs money in some way, shape, or form. So a big part of the game is trying to find a balance between having a steady flow of income, as well as just making time for the girl to learn things, as well as just rest and be a kid. It probably sounds deeper than I'm making it out to be, but it is trickier than you would think, especially since you don't actually have a lot of influence over how your girl does within the span of, when you send her out into the world. Okay, so I probably am not going to have enough money for another round of classes, so why don't we go ahead? Actually, let's talk to her first. Gonna be firm, just want to make sure.
私こんなに疲れが溜まってるのに、お父さん私を嫌ってるんだわ。
Well, I guess I'll let her rest first. Give her some easier jobs. So, have her make money. So, look at the options. So, you can work at the inn, you can be a scribe, an armorer, a lumberjack, or you can volunteer at the church. So, armorer and lumberjack are clearly off the table. I am not going to make my 10-year-old daughter do jobs like that. So that leaves us the inn and scribe. I think for now, scribe would probably be the best bet, a less strenuous job, and put that schooling I paid money for to work. And I also would recommend sending her to church whenever you can, as much as possible, because, you know, helping other people out who are going to the church, it provides some good morals, and that will prevent her from misbehaving, at which point you send her out to work and employers won't take her, so it's something you don't want to happen.
そんなに疲れてないのにね。
You said you were tired, Annabeth. What the heck? Spending my money. Well, technically it's her money, like...
休めてよかった。
You know, what kind of father am I? Like, I'm living off my daughter, my adopted daughter, who I adopted in post-war times. Like, what the hell? I should at least have the option to go work myself, too. And she will age as the game goes on, so that does give you a decent sense of progression. That's a good thing. Some of the jobs you do, though, it will adversely affect certain stats. So if you send her out to work as a lumberjack, you'll build up strength, but if you send her to work as a scribe, you're going to lose some of that strength but gain wisdom. So it's something you need to pay attention to. You got to find that balance. The Harvest Festival. Yeah, so every year they have the Harvest Festival, and they have two events, the martial arts tournament and the Miss Kingdom contest. So it's basically a fighting tournament and a beauty pageant. I am not going to enter my 10-year-old daughter in a beauty pageant, so we're just going to rest today. She could use the day off. Martial arts. You guys are probably wondering what this is right here. Evidently, I'm a very poor reader as well, because I actually don't know how to say that word. Basically, with that, the game sort of becomes something resembling an RPG. You're sent out into the wilderness, and you can get into fights with enemies, RPG style and stuff like that. Though, at this stage in the game, that's not really recommended, because she will get destroyed very, very quickly, so... yeah, not gonna let her do that just yet. Oh, it's time for the level 2 exam. Hopefully I remember the answer to these questions. Okay, probably not marine snow, that implies water. Definitely not a lightning bolt, so diamond dust.
ドラゴンのような探求類には天候の変化を感知する第三の目とも言うべき
It's probably not pineapple extract diet, and I'm pretty sure that says pancreas, so it's probably this one.
お見事。次から中級コースの授業を行おう。君には今日から
Yeah, and she's already a second class scholar at the age of 10, so age 11, so I earned some reputation points.
ではお稽古を始めましょう。
Okay, so we're about out of time, so let's see what the townspeople think of my kids so far.
名前だけは確か勇者様の幼女の
上品な感じがするよ。
女の子だから力は強くないんだぜ。
Someone's sexist. Not bad so far. Let's see how far I can get into the castle. Here we
これ
go.
これお前は何者だ。
こんにちは。
この娘ただの平民とは思えない気品だぞ。よーし通れ、隊長に取り継いでやろう。
Alright, thanks, guy.
何？王様に面会に来た娘だって。
こんにちは。
これは品のいいお嬢さんだ。自由の方に紹介してやろう。自重とは王族型の身の回りの世話をする役目の人だ。
おや、衛兵隊長、その娘は
The only guy here who actually looks like he could be, you know,
こん
Asian.
にちは。
このくらい礼儀がしっかりした娘なら王様に合わせても良いかも。
I'm getting pretty
侍
far
長
in
様
there,
に
aren't
相
I?
談してみようか。
何事かね、パウエル知事。
こんにちは。
お前の礼法気品では到底国王陛下の前に出すことはできぬ。
I can't tell if that was soft or not. But pretty far there, not too bad. And I think that's a good place to stop. So, Princess Maker. This is obviously not my game. Like, as I was talking to Lois about this all week, I made it very clear that while I didn't necessarily hate my time with the game, and I'll admit I did get into it just a little bit, now that the showcase is over, I am probably never going to play this game again, outside of the fact that it is just well outside of what I typically play. I just don't think there is enough to it to really hold my interest longer than the week I've played it. Well, there is a nice sense of progression here, and you do get a nice feeling as you raise up this kid and see her make something of herself. There are just other games I would rather play than this, but I can definitely see why there is an audience for this. I can definitely see why Autumn enjoys it, because I'm tempted to call it a cozy game, but, you know, there is some stuff in this game that is not so cozy. Like, there are a lot of different endings to this game, and you can screw up raising this kid, and, like, some people do that intentionally because, you know, why not? But, yeah, so I guess I would recommend it to a certain audience, but, you know, I'm probably never going to play this one again. I'm sure you guys are probably wondering the ending I got. I think I did a pretty good job. The young lady was a doctor by the time she reached 18 years old. Had enough grace to get an audience with the king. And she ended up marrying a nobleman. And because of her intelligence and skill, she was able to help them. They were able to work together to rise to a higher level in ability, just short of royal. So, yeah, I don't think I did a terribly good job. I still think I'd be a lousy parent in real life, but, you know, what are you gonna do? So yeah, Princess Maker,